Oh, hello. Welcome to the regular meeting of council for May 53. Roll, please.
Councilman Dean,
Is your microphone?
it's working. Councilman Dean,
Here.
Councilwoman Finch,
Here.
Councilwoman Brown, Councilman Gandy,
Here.
and Mayor Easton.
Felix Jones and soon to be vacation, please. All right. Move number 4, public and council anybody in the audience that would like to address on non-agenda items? Yes, ma'am. Please name.
Thank you again for your support for the parade. I hope that it was as successful on your side than it was on our side. Sorry, Claudia, I don't mean to steal your thunder, but I have to give a shout out to my partners in crime, Major Brad Cowden, Heather Tisdale. Public Works did amazing. We have already had our post-parade meetings. We already know what we need to work on for next year to make it even better, but thank you again very much.
Took me nearly an hour to dig all the candy out of my Mustang after that was over. I think we threw as much in the floor as we did on the street. But that was a great event, and congratulations to you and Brad. That was a good event. All right. Anybody else like to adjust? Uh-oh. Go ahead, Ron. I pick on Ron because I like him.
Ron McCall, 3403 South Woodford, Del City, Oklahoma. Well, my show is getting stolen tonight, and of course, always. First off, I'd like to give a shout out to Brittany, Major Bradley, Cowden, Chief Lloyd Burr, and the rest of the Dallas City Police Department, and all the first responders who participated and helped out in the parade. I thought it was fantastic, and I'm looking forward to the next one. As you mentioned, Memorial Day is coming up, and unfortunately, the fact is the hospitals and emergency account centers are going to be in dire need of blood products. So I'm encouraging everybody to schedule an appointment and donate. They need it. I'm a donor.
All right.
And next, May 3rd next year will mark the 25th anniversary of the tornado that struck the southeast part of our city. And I was just curious what the city has in mind to recognize that occasion, if anything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Is there anybody else that would like to address the council on non-agenda items? Note, I apologize for eating in front of you guys. I missed lunch today and my blood sugar is diving, and JD did enough to give me some snacks to keep me going. Thanks. Councilman Gandy, you got anything for us?
Big trash day. It's coming up. I see people putting their stuff out already. I think we can hopefully just curb that just a little bit longer. Wait, what, another week? Is it start next Wednesday, I believe, right, is when we're going to allow everyone to start putting their stuff out? Is that correct, JD? Is it next Wednesday? Third? So that's, okay, so next Thursday, so I'm off a week. Okay, a day, yes, so next Thursday. So we got several piles in my area, but just hold off a little bit longer and we will get it.
Councilman.
Yes, I also would like to join in praising Brittany Parrott. Thank you so much for all that you have done, as well as Major Cowden. You guys worked as a phenomenal team, and I also have to shout out your assistants. They did amazing. You know, we were just sitting back and watching, and I was able to see a lot of interactions where things could have gone wrong, but you guys were right there. You had a solution ready to go. Communication was there. You know, you were talking to somebody from the front and you were all the way in the back, and I really, really do appreciate that, and I do see that it is growing. So thanks to you, Brittany, you guys, and your team, the whole team. Thank you guys so much. That was really awesome. I love to see that, and hope that, you know, we get to do more fun things like that, because you're doing a great job. So I look forward to your ideas for Ron's idea on May 3rd next year. That should be something fun. And then, of course, I do want to just great time at Townsend for their Special Olympics. A lot of students came out. We had a lot of different schools that came, so it was a success. I applaud Townsend and what they did there with their Special Olympics. And that's all for me today. Thank you.
Councilman Finch?
And again, at Brittany Parrott, I just want to say thank you for making us look good. I know it takes a lot of work and teamwork, and you do a great job. Thank you.
Continuing on, just for, I'm a veteran, and as far as the other veterans, all the military in the area, everybody appreciates being recognized like that. So the city, it's a very nice thing that the city does, and it's one of the few. So it's a unique thing for us, and thank you for doing it.
All right. Very good. I'd like to hand out flowers to our acting city manager for the work he's doing on the budget, you and the budgeting team. You guys are really just knocking it out of the park, and I appreciate the time and the effort that you guys are putting into all that. Thank you, Joe. Pass that along to Melissa, too. All right. City manager's report.
So if y'all haven't heard, we had a parade a little while back. It went absolutely phenomenal. I love seeing everything that happened. The joint command between the police department and fire department, everything that Ms. Parrott and her entire team did, it could not have gone better, and we can only hope, because each year she promises us bigger and better. So I can't wait to see what the next year is going to have in store. So thank you all for that. As a reminder, just like last time, State of the City is scheduled for June 15th at 6 p.m. Usually it's at lunchtime. Now it's going to be around dinner time, so June 15th at 6 p.m. I want to make sure that's on everyone's calendar. And we have approximately 8 vacancies in the city right now, specifically in Public Works. We would love to have you. If you have anybody that you know that's interested in an entry-level position here at the city, now is a great time. Recent graduates from high school, college, or otherwise, vocational students, anyone who's looking for a career change, now is the time, so please apply today.
All right. Very good.
I got one quick one for you. I have had more messages about that Chinese restaurant taking over Don's. They received their certificate of occupancy last Friday. So they should be opening anytime now. So please pass that along as well.
Very good.
How can citizens apply?
You can apply on Indeed, or you can apply through, no, just Indeed. Now, we took it off. The city website takes you to Indeed.
And
Okay.
Mr. Manager, how's the pool lifeguard situation? Are we going to be all set for opening?
Get your trunks out.
Go ahead, Brittany.
All right. Joe, is this your first council?
First one up here, yes, sir.
Well,
Thank you.
you have a city clerk's report?
Yes, sir, I do. I have the sales tax report in. Our net sales tax is down $26,787.12. That is a decrease of 2.39%. Our use tax is up $28,566.24. That's an increase of 19.75%. Our tobacco tax is down $1,108.68. It's a decrease of 12.32%. And our hotel motel tax is up $807.86, which is an increase of 4.60%.
Thank you. Item number 6, minutes. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve the meeting of the council of May 1, 2023. Councilman Dean, would you like word the corrections on the minutes and then make a motion?
The minutes, as was written in our package, have been amended. And on the ONG, it's on Section A, which is for the ordinance. And during the discussion, we restated and discussed about amendment and modification. This is what's been modified. So Councilman Dean states as a specific example regarding the I-40 road expansion, should Dell City be required by state or federal DOT agents or subcontractors to relocate ONG lines from the public right-of-way or public easement, ONG will reimburse the city of Dale City for the city portions of the cost. The public right-of-way also includes land that may be currently dedicated to the federal or state government, but that transports gas that is subject to this franchise agreement. However, should the ONG lines be in a privately acquired easement dedicated to ONG or their subsidiaries, ONG would not be liable to remove these lines. This is applicable on a line-by-line basis. And with that, I make a motion that we approve the minutes as modified.
We have another modification,
Oh, sorry.
and it's back on the water meters.
So this one would just be the minutes. We're on the Dale City Council meeting minutes. So that one would,
Okay.
okay, so there's that one, and then let's see, so we got one, okay. I think we got these two tabs for the same, one I just
Right.
read. And then the third one's going to be on DCMSA.
Go ahead and read it in so that it's in the, just read it in.
Okay, so,
Mostly,
So-
we've added about the meter's 20-year lifespan. That's what I wanted on the
right, but that's, sir, that's with the next meeting, the DCMSA. So shouldn't we wait for the DCMSA meeting?
We can, but I'd like to read this in on the council's.
On the DCMSA minutes from the last meeting, we went through the discussion of all the meters, we had all the parts, and so what we've added is that the meters have a 20-year lifespan. The first 10 years has a full replacement warranty from the company. The last 10 years will be a prorated replacement warranty. And then Mr. McCall asked about the bill increase.
Okay, thank you. And your motion will be to approve the minutes as modified? Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I'm making a motion to approve the minutes as modified.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Councilman Dean,
Aye.
Councilman Gandy,
Aye.
Councilman Brown,
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye, the motion carries. Item number 7 is monthly update from the fire chief. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve receiving a monthly from the fire chief. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve receiving an update from Fire Chief Purcell.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. Chief, what do you got for us?
But I can imagine probably 15th, 29th and Reno are probably going to be pretty busy, possibly congested. So we're going to be working with our guys, making sure they're aware of the closures, but also any impacts that we need to.
Do we know where we
planning.
sit on the lights at 15th and Vicky, if that's gonna? Okay, so we don't, I thought I saw some of the blinders up, but I guess maybe not all of them. Okay, so no update.
So that definitely could back things up quite a bit on 15th.
So, Chief, I was under the impression that, they're working on the Douglas Bridge. Is it still the Douglas Bridge, or do you know how
It
far
is
they're
the
looking at?
Douglas Bridge,
how-
but they're shutting down, they are shutting down I-40 between I-35 and Choctaw, beginning Friday night at 7 o'clock until Monday morning, 5:30. So any east, I mean, you're not going to be able to go eastbound from any on-ramp in Del City. You can go westbound beginning around Sooner Road. So the Sooner Road, 15th Street, Sunny Lane. Those will be open going into downtown. They're going to be tearing down a bridge, one of the old bridges that they're currently trying to tear down, as well as working on some approaches. So they are really going to be messaging, we're going to be messaging to find alternate routes, and that would be 240 and possibly 23rd. But they will be all eastbound traffic and westbound traffic through Midwest City, Del City will be shut down between I-40 and Choctaw Road.
I got a notification from ODOT that was indicating they were shutting down at Shields, eastbound.
There's going to be some of the access ramps, like say, for example, if you take 235, which is the Centennial, once you hit I-40 and you take that little veer to the east, that is going to be shut down. So there's even further implications further west. So we're really going to be hitting the messaging hard, trying to put that out to everybody, with it being a weekend.
Are they going to put signage up on some of the surface streets?
That I do
Feature signs?
not know. I mean, this kind of hit us about 3 o'clock this afternoon. So I know the media is trying to get on board with it, and we're going to do what we can with our social media.
Do we have a timeline of how long this will be?
Friday night, beginning, I think it was 7 or 8, till Monday morning.
5:30 a.m.
5:30.
Monday.
So I know Tinker's even pushing out information to their people.
Going to be an interesting weekend.
It's going to be a very interesting weekend. So definitely planning ahead, trying to anticipate for that. So wanted to bring that out. Definitely hats off to Brittany and all of her staff. Also mentioned that we brought in some additional resources. We brought in Tinker, Spencer. We brought back our truck that we donated. We were not able to fly the flag that Brittany bought. We are going to be looking at another possibility. Just the winds and the size of that flag. We're going to be doing some playing around and trying to figure out the best way to properly display that. We've got a lot of high lines in that area, so we're going to be looking at some alternatives. We definitely hated to do that. And we also brought in some fire cadets from the Eastern Oklahoma County Fire Training Center, and they assisted us. So we had it very well covered. So all fire, police, EMS along the route, Pafford had dedicated crews. Definitely appreciate that, as well as all the volunteers. Had a couple of missing kids, but got them reunited pretty quick. That was our going to be one thing that we wanted to make sure we had taken care of, and our plan worked well. But for April, our call volume was pretty steady, nothing too extreme. 322 total calls, 233 of them were EMS and rescue, 6 fire-related, one of them being a structure fire. Our total responses were about on par with this time last year, just a little difference of 6 calls separating the 2 years. Mutual aid given, we're providing as much help as we can. We provided 5 mutual aid assistants in April, which gives us 20 year to date. We assisted in Logan County once again. They had a second deployment up there. And we're actually this week hosting at our place, all the county fire chiefs will be at our EOC discussing the recent deployments. Like I mentioned, pretty much we spent a lot of time in April working on the incident action plan. We prepare for the worst and hope for the best, and that's exactly what happened. So we're really pleased with how everything turned out. I just realized I did not attach the Pafford report, so real quick I'll hit on that. Overall response, and that includes their priority 1 to their priority 3, was at 7 minutes 30 seconds. But their priority 1 calls, which makes up about 60% of their call volume, was at 5 minutes 22 seconds. So they're still staying right on target, right where we want them. They had 332 calls for service with 228 transported. And just kind of a little FYI, for several years now, Del City's been considered what's called a storm-ready community, where we kind of go through a certification or I guess you'd call it a certification program through National Weather Service. We kind of meet their standards. to be recognized as a storm-ready community. So we were re-recognized for the next 3 years to be a storm-ready community. And what that means is in Oklahoma, there's 57 communities that have been identified as being storm-ready, 32 counties, 1 Indian nation, 11 universities, 1 commercial structure, and 15 supporters. So Del City is one of 57 communities in the state that's considered storm-ready. Not storm-proof, there's a difference. We're not storm-proof, we're just storm-ready. So we've had a couple of EOC activations for severe weather monitoring, just even Saturday. Some things kind of snuck up on us, but we're ready.
So should we put our signage back out on 29th like it used to be?
It's out there, we just need to update the dates, yes. So that's all I have, unless y'all have anything for us.
Very good.
Just be aware. So, not to avoid Del City, just to be aware of what's going on I-40. So,
Thank you, Chief. Move on to item number 8, landscaping contract for fiscal 2023-2024, RFP number 0301. I'm going to read A and B, and I'll be looking for a motion to table these items. Item A is discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny holding a discussion regarding landscaping services for fiscal year 23-24. Item B is discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny entering into a contract with blank '23-24. We understand we're waiting on some more information, so I would entertain a motion to table this.
I'll make a motion to table items A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. Motion is approved. We didn't set a date to table this until, shall we assume that it's 2 weeks? First meeting of, okay, that works. Item number 9, discussion only, special projects for fiscal year 23-24. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or conducting a discussion regarding special projects that could be requested by the council for fiscal year 2023-2024. This is an aid to help us with our budgeting. Do I hear a motion?
I'll make a motion. Are you going to get it? I'll make a motion to approve holding a discussion for special projects fiscal year 2023-2024.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The discussion is now open. This is a public discussion, so we have a list. Everybody has a list in front of them.
So
With-
just,
What are you looking? Just tell us what you're looking for. What do
Okay.
you want from us?
what you see here is a list of potential projects. The first quite a few on there came specifically from our last meeting. Everything that you all requested. If there are words or phrases I left off of there, for example, there's one that we asked 22nd to 24th Street and Sunny Lane, and that's from my notes cut off. So if we could fill in the blank on what we had asked for, was that a road repair? Was that a sidewalk? Was that a, anyway, that's the one item that I need to add it on to. But what I've,
That's a sidewalk by the drainage ditch.
got it, there we go.
Yeah, we were talking about clearing out some of the foliage that's
Got it.
overgrown on the west side of the drainage ditch, and maybe placing a sidewalk there. That's what we were talking about.
Thank you. I was missing one of those key elements and thought I should bring that back. Everything else that you see has come from the budget exercise that the department heads have done. They have put in each thing. What I have added on is anything over a certain amount. If it's over anywhere from about 25,000 or more, I've gone ahead and added it here. Most of these are six-figure projects that they've requested, but I wanted to make sure that you see what the department heads have requested in addition to what you guys have requested. And then what I've added are some potential funding sources. Not everything is set in stone, but when I first looked over these projects over the past 2 weeks, there is potential to have some of these things funded either out of our special sales tax, out of our restricted funding sources. Anything that is blank, of course, can be a general fund. They can always be a grant situation, a special, donation. Any of those things are possible. But what I wanted you all to see here is what it looks like right now. Obviously, getting every one of these projects done in one fiscal year is most likely not going to happen, but it lets you all see that we've written everything down. This gives us a solid list to get started. If you all have something that you want prioritized over the others, now is the time. I was hoping at least at this, in addition to discussing, feel free to ask any questions about what's here. I do have documentation supporting the items from the department heads if you have questions on any of those. But in addition, if you have anything that you'd like to know about or that you want to look into further, these are in no particular order. They were just as quick as I could write them down. Feel free to tell me what you're thinking about, what items you'd like to see prioritized, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we can go from there.
I think if we look at this from the point of view of safety priorities, the emergency generator fixes for the PD, I think that ought to be right up there at the top. That actually fuels or supports the 911 emergency service. Is that right? That's the generator we're talking about?
That as part of that discussion, there was some talk about the panel needing some work as well to get that power to the command center there.
Right.
Should
There's some
that-
rewiring involved.
Yeah.
The generator itself is big enough. I think it's just not applied exactly efficiently.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think we ought to be able to look at that as a.
As a
that should be
combo project, kind of.
Yeah, that really needs to be taken care of right there.
One of
Are there any other safety or?
So one of the things each year we were looking at trying to add more of the police vehicles.
We're
Right.
looking at 10.
Right, so I don't know.
That's not on here.
I don't see that on there. So we can keep trying.
Maybe we were talking about upgrading 10 police vehicles each year. Just add that on there. That's a good catch. Thank you.
For further clarification on that, so we're talking about basically a rolling 10 vehicles a year, correct? We'll sell at the 5th year, we'll sell the first 10 that we purchased.
That's correct.
Purchase 10 more, okay.
40 pursuit vehicles total, 10 a year. By the 5th year, we'll start recouping. And we'll actually be able to cut our transportation costs for the PD. We'll be able to half on the 5th year.
So on here, there is a new refuse truck. Did we not just buy 2 new trucks?
We're going to give you pickups.
The 2 new trucks we just received were the knuckle boom trucks. We have not had a new, this would be a residential, because we have the residentials and commercials, but the residential trucks, it's been approximately 3 years since we've had a new one.
Could you put together an aging report? In other words, the age of each refuse truck that you have?
And that
Give us something.
honestly doesn't always play into, some of them are been better than others. We have one that's been a problem child truck. It's actually our newest truck.
Just to jump in with him, the residential refuse truck they're requesting is replacing truck number 805, which is 14 years old, and the estimated cost is $475,000.
Okay,
So
14 years. That
I just
helps.
remember that there was a thing with, we had to buy the trucks, and then we had to buy the thing that went on back.
Yeah, that was the knuckle booms we purchased. I believe we purchased the 2 trucks, and the bed portion of it was a grant, I believe.
Well, it would have been.
Oh,
About that.
And so I think it's, as Ms. Finch is saying, is that even with this new one, you're going to have to buy the truck
Yes.
and then buy the trash compactor.
well,
Go on the truck.
that is a complete price, though.
Oh, the average lifespan on one of these trucks is about 10 to 14 years.
That's probably pushing it a little farther. We do have backup trucks, so, I mean, we try to get, sorry. Probably 8 to 10 years would be the normal lifespan. We used to alternate, we do a residential, commercial, and that way we were trying to keep them new or newer, because unfortunately the maintenance costs and repairs become extremely expensive after a while.
So, anything else on this? Okay, so another thing while you're up here is in the past, we have worked on replacing water lines and sewer lines, but particularly water lines that was by Old Town, and that's best word. So I haven't seen it, and I haven't seen it apply for a grant. See if there's a community development grant, and possibly see about maybe doing another street.
Yes.
So the water line request to replace the water line is around 4700 Southeast 24th. The water line there, I have that listed near the bottom. And let me pull what they got there. Oh, 700,000. There we go for the police department. You're right. We do have that. Okay.
Just didn't make the list.
Yeah, so we have replacing a 4-inch, catch me up,
4 inch.
thank you, before I say something silly. Concrete water main at 4700 block of Southeast 24th. The end of their lifespan, we've had 6 breaks on the street in Sure. We'd have had 6 water line breaks on this street in 2022. Replacing this line would reduce maintenance needed, stop unnecessary shutoffs, and safer job sites, and et cetera, et cetera. And that's estimated at $250,000.
And along that same line is at some point, I think we need to try to get over to Del Air, and because that street always has, especially between Vicky and
I don't know how there's an old piece of pipe there, honestly.
right, you'd think that they would slow down eventually.
Somehow I've been, believe it or not, working on that for almost 30 years. And we seriously did not even bother to load clamps up for a long time. We could grab pipe and sleeves and just cut in 20 foot at a time. And it still somehow finds, after this long, not sure how it keeps finding places that are old, because I'd have thought we'd have replaced it by now.
You know, part of the issue, JD, is all of these projects are lumped together. If we had them segregated, in other words, community development projects, police projects, public works projects, a little bit of separation, because what we do, say in Old Town Park, that's something that we've been sitting here talking about for some time, is Old Town Park has nothing to do with emergency generator fixes. It's all just intermingled. It'd be easier to understand if it was segregated by the funding source. So could we get that next time? Thank you. Does anybody have anything?
JD, I think that the 22nd, 24th Sunny Lane and the sidewalk west side of Sunny Lane, I think those are the same issue.
Okay. I think we could get a better handle on this if the potential projects are separated by their funding source. So everything that's funded from the same fund is right together.
And we
It'd be easier to see.
And we kind of discussed it before, where if we could find out kind of what kind of budget, you know, what the limit could be, that could help us try to do it. Because, you know, it's like the word drainage, you know, if we have a specific drainage fund in the MSA side, you know, that might help as well. So what Ms. Finch found, JD, is that about 8 down is the sidewalk west side, and then about 15 or 18 down is the 22nd, 24th. Those are the same.
We got it. Yeah. Let me ask you something. I saw a lot of activity at the entrance to Dell City on the Superhood of Reno. You've got Public Works people out there working on that. where's that, how is that project coming along? Because I also see it on here. Entry to Dell City Beautification. Is that specifically Reno at Sooner, or is that just all of them?
That's going to be all of them, but that is part of it. We're starting with Reno and Sooner at the request of the Parks and Beautification Committee and the council, and we're starting there and hoping to work magic as we go along and trying to utilize the funding sources that we have this fiscal year before we even focus on next year's on that one, since it was a smaller financial fix. If it's, my spending limit is 15,000, so if I can do anything under 15,000 that we can push through with, the monies that we haven't spent, before our budget expires on June 30th, we're trying to push those through.
Yeah.
So,
Second to last is digital signage for 15th and 29th. Is that as part of the beautification?
So digital signage is something that we've had listed here for a while. Copying from East Del City, we do have, I thought you'd like that. If you all have seen that they have on 29th, before you go into Air Depot heading to Tinker, they have a beautiful large display that has what's going on in the community, different things on a digital sign. That is something that we could focus our economic development funding on to get one posted there. Ms. Brittany has also mentioned multiple times that we are in desperate need of updated signage at the community center. So if we were to do those at the same time, instead of it being community center focused, it would be community-wide information up there. 2 large signs, one on 15th, one on 29th. I was hoping 29th Street in the area where ODOT was setting up there in the past when they had their setup section, we could have one coming in when you first come into the city, or potentially in the middle of 29th, right outside of the police department in that vacant field. We could have a nice light-up signage there, one on 15th, and then the hope would be, as future fiscal years allow, we could get one on 44th and one on Reno.
JD, I'm saying I'd like to see this stuff grouped
You
by
got it.
funding sources, but you've already given us much more information than traditionally we receive for the budget, and I commend you for bringing this to us.
Well,
And just a little bit of fine tuning, we could really, really get a grip on this and handle it a lot better.
awesome. And one thing we've had before with the department heads, if something didn't get funded this year, they're requested to hold off on it until the next fiscal year. I'd rather you all see it now, even if the funding doesn't allow for it. That's our opportunity to go out for a grant, to go out for something special. The water line and sewer line replacements, for example, could be community development block grants, which myself and Kelly Wilbanks are now fully certified. Joe and Melissa are fully certified in that. We're hoping to get Public Works team members certified in that very soon, where we can start going out for that money yearly. That money reoccurs yearly, and anything that we could do to get the federal government to cover some of these bills would be fantastic. So we are looking in those areas. I did not include every potential funding source. There are grants under the sun for almost every project here, minus fire hydrant painting, Chief. For some reason, I can't find anyone to do that one. But we do have quite a few different opportunities here, but I wanted to ensure, the water treatment plant clarifier made it on here twice. Oh, because we probably need 2. There we go, right? We need 2, don't we? That's why. So, anyway, those
That should be
different
a high
things are,
priority.
right.
Yeah.
Those things are what's going to be available. We're hoping to receive funding here, but there are multiple opportunities. What I want to make sure in this, with these potential projects is, even if we can only strike 3 off the list in the fall of this new fiscal year, we can bring back this list, continue adding to it, and
Right.
trying to continue prioritizing where this stuff doesn't just fall off. We want to make sure, for example, the residential refuse truck, if it's not something I can fund beginning in August, could we fund it next October? Could we fund it next April? Could we fund it another time? I'm trying to get to a point where they're not just no's, they're more like not yet.
Could that be neighborhood enhancement?
I wish, not quite.
So can we fix the restrooms here at City Hall?
That's already budgeted. That's not on here, right? Well, it's already budgeted, we already have the funding for it. Well, I'd like to see this come back, and again, I love what you're doing here, but a little bit of organization, if it's organized by funding source, it'd be a little easier to comprehend. And fire hydrant painting project, is there potential there that if the city bought the paint, supplied the paint, perhaps some neighborhood watches could step up and help us paint some hydrants? Is that a possibility? Ron, is that a possibility?
Up in the conversation, maybe the Shine program could do that for us if they're
Absolutely.
interested.
Absolutely. That'd be a great source for it, too. Okay, well, I'm looking forward to seeing
JD,
this.
I just did want to mention and kind of just piggyback off of the mayor, because I think, definitely appreciate you putting this together, and I think being able to group it up, just like he said, with those funding sources, if we have a good idea, because I believe some of these you can probably put together with the knowledge that you do already have through economic development. If we can bunch some of these up into one grant or into one application for those things, I think that would definitely be possible and be a lot easier to say, what would be important to get done right away, and right along the lines of the mayor, then would be able to see how much funding we're going to have, what the timelines are, and all of that good stuff. But I really, really do appreciate this. This is awesome, because you're listening, so that's good.
Moving right along.
So are there any other of these projects that are already funded that are on the sheet?
Officially funded, no. The restrooms for City Hall, Melissa said she will find the money. Right, Joe? So that one was the only one that's actually guaranteed funding. The senior center or activity center, that is a special sales tax. As of right now, we don't have the money for it yet, but as the sales tax continues to come in, that's when we can either utilize the loan that we've taken out in the past or something of that nature. There is dedicated funding for it, but that's between now and 2033. So that doesn't necessarily mean we'll have it done in 2 weeks or anything, but that's what we're looking at. So there are dedicated funding sources, and that's what I tried to post on here. The Vicky Drive 15th to 29th resurfacing, that has its own special sales tax for streets. It only generates about $200,000 a year. So in the past, previous city managers have gone out for loans to take care of those so we can get it done in advance. Look at Joe looking at me going, don't you bring up a loan to me. So we're trying to stray away from that and go with the money that we already have, or whenever the coffers allow for it, then we go ahead and perform the function, and then either use the special funding source to pay back if we loaned it to ourselves.
We can revisit the funding next session when we have this in a different format. All right, let's move on. I would entertain a motion to recess to DCMSA.
Make a motion, we recess to DCMSA.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Take the vote. Councilman Gandy.
Aye.
Aye.
Councilman Finch.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. To Dale City Municipal Services Authority, I call to order the Municipal Services Authority. Joe, would you call the roll, please?
Trustee Dean,
Here.
Trustee Finch,
Here.
Trustee Brown,
Here.
Trustee Gandy,
Here.
and Chairman Eason.
Chairman is here. Is there anybody in the public that would like to address the DCMSA on non-agenda items? Seeing none, any trustees have anything non-agenda items? Seeing none, manager's report.
We're about to talk about it, but new water meters are coming.
Okay, that's an item on the agenda. Okay, move us up to item number 5, and trustee, would you like to read in the modification? To the minutes, the modification to the minutes.
All right, so the minutes of April 28, 2023 for the Dale City Municipal Service Authority is going to be amended to include on the water meters discussion.
The May 1 minutes?
Sorry, reading. Yep, Jenna posted it. Sorry, May 1st.
Thank you.
That on item number 6, the invitation to bid 0217, during the discussion, invitation to bid 0217, in the discussion that the first 10 years of the water meters would have full replacement warranty. The last 10 years would have a prorated 20-year replacement warranty.
10-year prorated.
The last 10 years is 10 years prorated replacement warranty. And then the meters would have a 20-year lifespan.
So you're making a motion to approve the minutes with that modification?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Trustee Dean,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Trustee Dean, I appreciate bringing this to our attention this morning to read this into the minutes. That was actually Trustee Dean that brought this up, and thank you for that. Good insight. Now vote.
Aye.
Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Trustee Finch.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, the motion carries. Item number 6, discussion only. Project update on AMI water meters. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve or deny. Holding the discussion only regarding an update, discussion only regarding an update on the AMI water meter project. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion, we hold a discussion on the water meter update.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy.
Aye.
Trustee Dean. Trustee Finch. Trustee Brown.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. The motion carries. We are now open for discussion. Brittany, are you going to discussion?
Yes, sir.
So
All
a
right.
couple of things I want to make sure when we get started with this. Ms. Parrott and I have discussed, we're going to have this item reoccurring every 2 weeks on this agenda until this project is complete. That way, if there are any problems, any questions, anytime that anyone needs something in addition to the normal outlets, we can give updates and continual updates. So I just want to let you all know that we're going to keep this going as a way to show transparency to our citizens.
In front of you, I have put a memorandum that JD and I worked on all day today. I'd like to make sure that all of you are on board, you understand it, make sure that it's clear to you as residents as well. Once we get the okay, I'm ready to get these in the mail and go ahead and get the initial notification out. Yes. So this one's going to be just kind of a quick hit with some frequently asked questions. And then JD and I have talked about, we're probably going to piggyback on State of the City and open up for a town hall after State of the City for just the water meter discussion. We have talked about setting aside a certain time of every day here at City Hall where I'll be available, JD will be available, Joe will be available. We'll have someone from Public Works available. That way we can make sure we can answer questions from all angles. So if you can just look over this and let us go ahead and get the initial notification out of the way.
So one initial thought is just as it begins, dear resident, I think the very first thing is Del City, we should start off with a nice, let's grab your attention. Del City is going to be replacing your water meter, period. And then you can go and do this ITB, and it's a very complicated beginning that you're going to have to read through, and I think that we might lose people's interest.
Maybe just a large new water meters.
New water, yeah.
Very simple that you glance at and see.
And then if you get interested about new water meters, then you're going to, luckily you've got these old parts about why do you need a new water meter? You can have
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, just take the memo heading off and just put new water meters.
Okay?
Great big letter.
Okay?
Oh, City Attorney's home phone number. Okay, very good. I think the rest of it looks
And-
fine.
And on the, so I think that the discussion about why it would actually benefit, that does it benefit me, is that you can be notified as a leak occur, this new technology will identify,
Yeah, we have in here, many common breaks or leaks can be easily identified and repaired within hours versus days or weeks.
right.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's fine. The rest of it looks very good. I like the frequently asked questions.
Okay?
And if you just reach out and grab them with a big header, I think this will be just fine.
Okay?
And put a phone number. Put JD's
Beverly's?
home number.
Okay.
Put JD's home number on it.
She can take me. We're not putting Melissa's phone number on there.
I think on the city website, you should have it flashing and lights around it and like real neon. Brittany, I'm teasing. Don't write that down.
Well, we are going to put it, do you want it on the homepage of the website? Do you
I think so. I think that
I
just-
worry that if we embed it, people aren't going to see it.
Right. It needs to have something outstanding so it'll catch their eye.
You mean like Brittany walking up and down 15th Street with a sandwich board that says new water meters?
I want to keep her here for a while.
I wouldn't make it very far.
A water meter. She's going to be a water
It'd be a
meter.
big sandwich.
Okay, very good.
Okay, thank you.
Any further trust input? Oh, I'm sorry.
At the last council meeting, I wasn't here, but I was watching online, driving back from vacation. But the company that we chose for the water metering is Innovative Utility Solutions. And I just want to address the council and let y'all know, when bid tab, when we first looked at the bids, they were not the lowest bid. The lowest bid actually came from Mountain States Pipe Supply. They were considerably lower, but we also in our ITB asked for a 20-year pricing because this is a 20-year project. So with that 20-year pricing, the low bid actually had annual reoccurring fees that amounted to over $400,000.
Wow.
So that also took their bid to $3.9 million, a little bit more than that. With the company that we chose, they do not have an annual fee at all as far as their stuff. When we buy their product, we're buying it right there for the full 20 years. And their bid with that would be 3.7. So they are considerably less over the lifespan of the meters that we're expecting. So it's not something that we're going to keep coming back every year saying, hey, we need another $30,000 just to keep running this project and keep this going every year for us. The system that we chose, or that y'all chose to approve, is going to be considerably cheaper over the 20-year span.
All right.
Just wanted to update y'all.
Very good. JD, why don't you add a note at this point about, and tell everybody where the funding for this is. It's not going to be coming from her bill. It's not revenue from the water bill. Tell them where it came from.
Correct. So this is coming from the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA. We received approximately $3.8 million for infrastructure projects, and this is the project that was selected. So this project will be funded, and it has to follow all of the ARPA guidelines and things of that nature. The money came in over time. It was 2 different payments over the course of 2 years. Has to be spent by 2026, so everything is following in step with how this will work.
All right. Very good. Any further trust input?
Make a motion that we adjourn to the Del City City Council meeting.
Second.
Who had that second? We have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Take the vote. Trustee Gandy?
Aye.
Trustee Brown?
Aye.
Trustee Finch?
Aye.
Trustee Dean?
Aye.
Chairman votes aye. The motion carries. We are now returning to the city council meeting, and we're at item number 10, executive session. Discussion, consideration, possible action to approve recessing to executive session for Oklahoma Open Meeting Act 25 OS 301 for the purpose of the following. Discussion concerning the employment, hiring, appointment, promotion, demotion, disciplining, or resignation of any individual, salaried public employee, including but not limited to the acting city manager pursuant to 25 OS 307B1. Do I hear a motion?
Make a motion that we go to executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. City attorney, does this meet the qualifications for executive session?
Yes, in my opinion, it is appropriate for executive session.
We have a motion and a second. Let's take the vote. Councilman Gandy?
Aye.
Councilman Finch?
Aye.
Councilman Dean.
Aye.
Councilman Brown.
Aye.
Mayor votes aye. The motion carries. We are now recessed to executive session.